Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz, the source of the hottest tea on the interwebs, and welcome to my membership. Thank you so much for supporting me and dipping into your wallet every month. Now, I'm coming to you today with a membership special 90-day Oive. You know how Rachel has been putting out these rap songs every week and airing all of her dirty laundry about her marriage with John? Well, I got John's response. Let's hop right into this. First, I want to come to you guys with full disclosure. John was one of my very first interviews back in 2021 when I first started doing this with my partner Brianna. Brianna left the channel in 2023 and I just picked it up and kept it moving, and here I am today. John has always held a very special place in my heart. He was one of the first cast members, 90 Day, Love After Lockup, otherwise, to sit down and interview with us. And boy, did he interview. It was about 3 hours long. Brianna had to put out the interview in three parts, but it was a doozy. John is so charming and entertaining. And honestly, the time flies by when you're speaking to him. Okay. So that is why I was genuinely sad when Rachel announced that their divorce is final. Honestly, I didn't even realize that there was any issues there. It just seemed like suddenly out of the blue, Rachel announced divorce final. And I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck happened? How did we find out the divorce was final? Rachel released her first rap song, okay? It was called You Did This. And as you can see, she says in the caption that she was holding on to it for a year. And in this first installment, this is where she was dropping the bombs. Okay. So basically, we found out some stuff about John that personally at the time I was like, whoa, this is way too much for me to wrap my mind around. And then she mentioned Tiffany. And I was like, holy shit. Did he have an affair with Tiffany? Like, what in the actual fuck is going on? Then she put up these messages, okay? And the messages themselves were weird. The the things the person was saying about John was weird. Everything about this was just weird. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Then she proceeds to put out more parts. We have You Did This, that Oops, Run Little Gingerbread Man, Pucker Up Buttercup, Dose. I mean, she was spitting these out week after week, every Thursday, which I started to notice a pattern. I'm like, oh, so Rachel's peak posting day must be Thursday, because every Thursday a new song was coming out, and it at one point it was really starting to get repetitive. Okay, there was nothing really new. She just kept saying that John cheated on her. Okay, to make a long story short, in a nutshell, John cheated on her. He was abusive. He berated her. He was selling dick pics. He sent, dick pics to vulnerable women. And allegedly, according to Rachel, he has a married girlfriend. Okay, so she is monetizing on all this, you guys. Trust me. Okay, she is monetizing by uploading her songs to Spotify. She is monetizing on Facebook, and I don't know, but maybe she's monetizing on Instagram as well. But as a content creator, and I also think this way sometimes, she has figured out that her peak posting day is Thursday. So every Thursday we get a new song, okay? And this past Thursday she released Liar Bells Are Ringing. The tone of these rap songs are very, very angry. She is very angry. Like I said, she is airing out all the dirty laundry for the world to see. And I honestly, as I'm listening to the songs week after week, I'm kind of caught off guard. I'm like, where is all this anger coming from? This was just kind of out of left field. I mean, yes, they hadn't been on our screens for a while. We haven't had an update about them. But as a content creator, I didn't hear whispers or see rumors. So all of this was just kind of out of the blue to me. So in her latest edition, Liar Bells Are Ringing. Okay, she, decides to try to expose John even more. If you're asking why is she still going by Rachel Walters on social media, it's because she's verified under that name and she can't change it. And I'm like, okay. And like I said, her tone is very, very angry, which you know how women can get. Listen, I'm not one to judge anger. Miss, I need anger management classes here. But it just kind of seemed out of the blue to me. So, Rachel and John put tons and tons of money into this visa, okay? As you can see from this 2019 post, tons and tons of money. So, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to John. We spoke for about an hour and a half. And like I said, the time goes by so quickly when you're talking to him. And honestly, my heart is broken for him. So basically, I don't understand why Rachel is so angry when she broke up with John after 2 years of basically a sexless marriage, them not seeing each other. She breaks up with him in a text. Okay. And this happened last May. And I would like to thank John for trusting me with these messages. Okay. And basically, she texts him and says, um, it's not something I want to have a text conversation about, nor it's something I want to talk to you about in the middle of your workday. There is no way either one of us can deny how unhappy and unfulfilled we both are. I can't, in good conscience, spend this money on the filing fee knowing how far we've grown apart and how unhappy we both are. I've been pushing these thoughts down for a really long time, but it's coming to a head now, and I'm having a really tough time denying it anymore. It's because I care about you so much. I don't want to do this in text. 7.5 years deserves a conversation and resolution. I'm sorry to have done this before your workday. It's just been eating at me about the money and the filing fee, along with the reality of the situation. Okay, so Rachel broke up with John the day before they were supposed to submit everything for the visa. John sent her money for the visa and she eventually sent it back to him. But she basically um, cut the cord, pulled the string, decided it was over the day before the visa filing deadline. And this totally broke John's heart. John had previously sent her birthday gifts and Mother's Day gifts where you can see she thanks him. And in these text messages, the tone seems very sympathetic and cordial. Okay, Rachel doesn't seem angry at all. Rachel hasn't told him to go fuck off, anything like that. They have a conversation about a joint IG account that John asked if he could take over. This IG account, from what I understand, is linked to Rachel's email. Okay, so she could basically see everything that's going on, get notifications, you know, deny access, when you're trying to access your account and they send you a notification, oh, was this you? And you say yes or no. She, had access to all that stuff. So, in my opinion, these messages don't seem very hostile. Okay. They just seem like someone that was just tired of a long distance relationship and was just finding a way to end her marriage, as painful as it may be at the time. So, the final message between them at the time. John messaged her on May 15th. This was approximately 2 weeks after she called it off in text. And he says, "Hey, Rachel, we hadn't spoken on the phone since the 1st of April. Since then, we've broken up via text. I think we need to talk about what's going on. I feel like we're not speaking as if I'm in a doghouse. I got a notification you set up Telegram late last night. I don't know if you want no contact if you're talking to someone else. If you talk about divorce, about Lucy, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I feel hung out. I just want to know what I'm meant to do." She replies, "Broke up," in quotes, "via text because you didn't respond to me for a solid week. No, I'm not talking to anyone else, and I haven't told Lucy anything as of yet because you and I haven't spoken. I took this time to think about everything and what I thought would be best, and I still feel as if we have drifted too far apart over all this time to keep going. All of that being said, I do feel like it would be best if you and I go our separate ways at this moment in time. You and Lucy can obviously keep in contact. I wouldn't take that away from either one of you. And I'm really sorry this is how it all turned out. I know neither one of us wished this was going on." Just the tone, people, okay? Because Rachel's tone in these texts and Rachel in her rap songs are two different people. John slipped into a deep depression, okay, because he felt like he was fat and ugly, and his deep depression turned him into a whole new body transformation, okay, and everything that Rachel is accusing him of, he freely admits did happen, but after she broke up with him, after she told him things were over, yes, as in his words, he was swinging his wanker around the interwebs. And yes, he did sell some dick pics. Why not? Because the divorce was going to cost him a certain amount of money because he needed to have it done in front of a notary public, and it was getting all complicated. So why not sell some dick pics? It's his wanker, okay? And Rachel broke up with him. Keep in mind, everything that Rachel has accused him of during her songs happened after she broke up with him in May of 2024. And uh, her epiphany with Tiffany, okay? I'm sorry. She's being a little bit of a drama queen. So, I'm going to explain what happened with that. John and Rachel had a huge blow up fight 2 years ago. I'm going to show you the text in a moment. And basically, they didn't speak for a week. Okay. They had a big argument where Rachel lost her shit and screamed, "Fuck you," 1,000 times, okay, at John. And they didn't speak for a week. So during that time, Tiffany was broken up with Ronald, and Tiffany and John were friends. Okay, they were cast members on the same show. They did talk a lot, and there was one particular night that Tiffany was traveling, and the time difference and everything. So to make a long story short, yes, John fell asleep talking on the phone with Tiffany. That's it. That's all that happened. Nothing physical. They never had an emotional relationship, physical relation. They fell asleep on the phone together. They were talking. Tiffany was traveling, the time difference, and next thing he knows, he wakes up and he realized he's on the phone with someone, and he actually thought it was Rachel at first. It took him a minute to realize that it was Tiffany. But he and Tiffany are really good friends, and honestly, he has no idea who she's referring to in this story where she was giggling, saying that she had a fling with a married 90-day cast member. Okay. John is like, definitely wasn't me because we didn't do anything, but I have no idea who it is. So maybe Tiffany was trolling, maybe she wasn't, but John swears up and down all they did was talk and fall asleep on the phone as friends. So, this is why John and Rachel weren't talking that week. And John, had a long conversation with Tiffany. So basically, to make a long story short, John was missing his wife. It was Valentine's Day 2023. It was the day before Valentine's Day. And John was missing his wife. John was feeling like shit. Okay. And he noticed that she was acting kind of cagey. And she mentioned that her boss was coming over and she works from home. So John is like, oh, okay, is he going to come in? Are you going to go out to the driveway and talk to him in the car? Like, are you guys having a meeting? What's going on? And Rachel was really cagey about the whole thing. And she was not in contact with him all day. Okay. John was trying to get a hold of her, texting her, what's going on. Didn't hear from her all day until that night. He got this text from her, which said, oh, I love Justin. Justin to boss. Okay. He just responded back, okay, cool. So the next day, okay, on Valentine's Day, he calls, to talk to her and whatever. And they start having a conversation about Justin, which it went left. And yes, John curses like a fucking sailor, like I do. Okay, so he was, bloody cursing left and right. And Rachel was yelling at him to stop cursing at her. And before you knew it, Rachel was yelling, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and hung up on him. So she decided it was best for them to take some time off and wind up being a week because, things were getting toxic and she didn't want to be in a toxic relationship. After the week was over, according to John, he thought everything was fine. Okay. He thought everything was fine. So when she broke up with him via text this past May, it took him for surprise because he thought everything was cool. The last big blow up they had was that one in 2023, Valentine's Day 2023, about her boss. Okay. So he doesn't understand what she means by you didn't respond to me for a solid week. The week they didn't talk was back in 2023, and Rachel asked for that break. So John is confused. He's depressed. He's sad. And yes, he is being a wee bit self destructive, okay? Selling dick pics, talking to random women in his DMs. He admits to all of that. He really does. He admits to all of it. But it all started happening after Rachel broke up with him. Okay. So Rachel herself said that all she wanted was a divorce. So why does she keep dragging John and their dirty laundry on the internet? Monetization, anybody? Okay, this is what I truly, truly am starting to feel like. Rachel is trying to monetize as much as she can, but unfortunately, she is dragging John through the dirt and she doesn't give a fuck. Everything that she is accusing him of being narcissistic, it is starting to look like that she may be the narcissistic one. She has released how many songs? And with all transparency, the message that I sent to John was actually about a week or two before this whole shit hit the fan. I actually wanted to sit down and do an update with him because I had no idea what was going on in his world. And then I didn't hear from him, figured he was busy. And next thing I know, shit was hitting the fan. And then John reached out to me. So this is a really sad situation, and unfortunately he's being made out to look like the douchebag because he hasn't spoken out while she has done 7 8 parts of a rap song. Okay, so in this latest one, Liar Liar Bells, she calls John a liar by showing, messages that he has told people that she has access to his Instagram, No one has sent her screenshots. She has gone into his IG herself and looked at messages, and she says that's a bold faced lie. Well, these messages, when you guys first broke up in May, it kind of tell me a different story. Okay, when John is asking her for the password to the joint account because he can't open up an account, and this joint account is linked to her email. So all that to me sounds kind of fishy, and we all know how women could be. Listen, I'm a woman. Okay, if I had access to my ex's IG, hells yeah, I would be checking it to see who the fuck he's talking to. I'll be the first one to admit that. Okay, so she put up in this last song that John is lying about sending her money to get Lucy a gift this past Christmas. Okay, and that he sent it on Christmas Eve. Well, first off, I want to show you guys the proof that John sent it on December 21st, which is, in my opinion, enough time to run to Walmart, run to Target, order something on fucking Amazon. Okay. I think last year I actually started my Christmas shopping on December 20th. So December 21st, in my opinion, okay, is more than enough time just to get something quick. Because John had sent as Rachel says, a random batch of clothes. Don't mention her kids because mentioning her kids really pisses her off. You think she's not angry? I think she's way angry, but don't mention her kids, okay? So she says he sent a random bunch of clothes, okay? And Lucy's always thanked him. This is not about all of that. This is about that John wanted Lucy to have something to open on Christmas Day, and you decided that you were going to take that money and put it towards what you had already spent. Well, you know something, Rachel, sometimes in my opinion, that's not your call. Okay, you should have took that money and run to Walmart to get her something. Just saying, but who the fuck am I? I'm just a blogger. So, anyway, so like I said, for someone who seemed very sympathetic and compassionate, so worried about John when she was breaking up with him via text, she's really angry a year later. Okay. And, John admits that when he was served the divorce papers, it wasn't a priority. He works nights. He would have had to find a notary public. He would have had to pay out of his pocket. So when he was served in January by Rachel's friend, and it was basically either sign the divorce papers. Now, mind you, she filed them in October. So by January, she had her friend serve him, sign and have them notarized in 28 days, or she will be divorcing you in your absence. So John said, fine, divorce me in my absence. But, and honestly, it may be petty, okay, a wee bit petty, but he's hurt, and hurt people do things. So, yes, John admits he had an online married girlfriend, truly online. They swapped pictures, never saw each other in person, never did anything physical. And now Rachel is so angry, allegedly, over this that she is threatening to expose this woman. This woman is in the middle of a divorce. I'm not saying what John and this woman are doing is right, what they did is right, but Rachel is not right for threatening to expose her identity. Okay. I mean, Rachel, you said so yourself. All you wanted was a divorce. You were the one that ended it. You ended it because of your dignity, your pride, and you weren't going to let anything get you off course. You got your divorce. Okay? You got your divorce now, and I don't understand why you are so unhitched, coming out with these songs every week. So all I could think of is monetizing. But at what cost? Like, seriously, guys. And this is coming from a content creator. Monetizing at what cost? This is a man we're talking about. His life, 7.5 years. No, he hasn't spoken to Lucy lately, if you want to know. Okay. So this man's life has been turned upside down. Yes, he could be a prick sometimes. Yes, he has a mouth like a dirty fucking sailor. But does he deserve all this? In my opinion, no. And I'm really sad that this all happened because they truly were one of my favorite couples. And it's truly sad to see this bitchy, narcissistic side, in my opinion, come out in Rachel. So that's basically it. I would like to thank John again for trusting me with his story. He hasn't spoken to anyone else, so this is truly an exclusive for you guys, my members. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe. Double check that you are subscribed because YouTube likes to fucking play games. Like my video, comment. Please recommend my membership to everyone you know because I think for $6 a month, it's a really good deal for the tea that you're gonna get. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye everybody.